The Tenet Arca Plasmor. Today we're looking at a terrific build for this weapon. This is not your daddy's build. And now, really quickly before we go any further, I just want to say that I would not be covering this weapon if I didn't feel like I had something to add to this discussion. I do have something to add to this discussion. And before we go any further, a lot of people have been commenting on my videos saying, oh, you're using an arcane, or oh, you're using a specific status type. Yes, I used to work in a body shop. The body shop had 30 or 40 different hammers. We would repair and refinish Mustangs. People would bring in their Mustangs. They would leave it with us for like half a year. We would make it look bright, pretty, and new. We would refurbish these old school 65 Mustangs and make them absolutely beautiful. Whenever we had a chance to use that one hammer we never used before, it was like, fuck yes, dude, we're using the hammer. We're using this specific hammer. And that's how I like to play Warframe. I like to use all the tools in the kit. So if you're one of these people who are like, oh, you're using an arcane, fuck off. I never asked for any likes, comments, or subscriptions, all right? I asked for you to donate to homeless shelters. So I didn't ask for your bullshit, okay? Now let's get into the build and why we're using it. So I specifically use this on my Ivara. As you can see, between these two different builds, there's only one change, and it's the galvanized acceleration. For the sake of brevity, we'll just use this build, and we'll go off of this build. So, what is the build? Why did we get to it? And we're going to explain everything. So right off the top, this is the longest named weapon I've ever seen in all of Warframe. Septima Expentificil Tenet Arca Plasmor. I normally rename my weapons, but I'm not renaming this one because I've never seen one so long in my entire life. Now, why is the stat spread like this? We're going to get into it. The Riven is nothing special. If you were going to get into this, if you were trying to build this for yourself, you would replace this for cold. Only the problem is, so you would probably be using chilling reload, and you're probably thinking to yourself, so you want as much cold as possible, a lot of people think. So look at that. I have 37.7 here. This is 60. I wouldn't recommend using this fully leveled, and let me tell you why. So a lot of people are fucking idiots, and they think, oh, let me stack viral. Let me stack viral. You don't understand how this game works, and it's very clear you're embarrassing yourself. It's pathetic. You're disgusting. And let me tell you why. So viral is not a good damage type. Viral you're using for the status. Viral buffs your other statuses. Viral alone is doing next to no damage. Look at the effect and read it very carefully. Increases health damage taken by up to 325%. This is increasing health damage. This isn't doing very much health damage. So we have other elements on the build to account for that. So the next one we have is magnetic. The magnetic is the progenitor of this weapon. This is a mag proj Septima Expentificil Tenet Arca Plasmor. And the reason we're using mag is because, again, this is similar to viral in that it is increasing shield damage up to 325% damage. This is your everyman build. This is your handyman build. Are you sick and tired of swapping out Banes? Are you one of these people who's like, fuck, I've been rocking the primed Grenier Bane when I've been doing Lua survivals for an hour. I am so sick of every time I go to level cap, I have to swap my Banes around, but with this build, I'm not swapping shit. There's nothing I have to swap. I can use this against literally every single class. A lot of people act like, oh, there's not much magnetic stuff that's weak to magnetic. That is completely untrue. There are shielded enemies of every group. Every single, and that's another thing for electricity. You're probably asking yourself, why electricity instead of heat? Every single group has robotic enemies. Sentient have a lot of robotic enemies. Corrupted have MOA. Corpus have MOA. Grenier have robotic enemies. So you will be facing robotic enemies of all varieties. And additionally, the status effect from this is applying CC, and the status effect from electricity can apply headshots. Radiation we're not going to really talk about. Sometimes it'll proc, but that's just innate on the weapon. So all of these are working in tandem. Another reason why a lot of people just stack as much viral as they possibly can, and again, I just explained to you that that doesn't make any sense because you're stacking a damage type that is not very good, but people see big number to bottom and they go, oonga boonga, big number to bottom. That's so fucking stupid. You have no idea what you're doing, and it shows. It's embarrassing. You should be ashamed of yourself. Your parents are probably disgusted they had such a mongrel child. Now, the reason I'm using what I'm using, we'll get into in a second once we explain the mods. So primed, we're pretty much, I use this with combat discipline, an Arcane Avenger, so I pretty much always have 100% critical chance. So this is just pretty much 110% extra damage. A lot of people don't realize that if you just stack these damage mods, a lot of people use primed pressure point, or whatever the fuck it's called here, because it's like, unga boonga, big damage, unga boonga, big in number. That's so unbelievably stupid. You clearly have no idea how the mechanics of this game work. This is a better serration. This is a better primed pressure point, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's much better, and if you were to add If you add this to your build, your arcane is going to do less. You're going to get less from your arcane because it's diminished returns. I'm not going to explain diminishing returns from you. If you can't figure it out, I don't know what to tell you. Go to school or something. Hunter munitions, because again, we usually have a 100% critical chance with the right build. So this is just pretty much consistently proccing. It's only 30% chance, but it is what it is. So galvanized hell from a multi-shot, galvanized savvy because the status chance and the direct damage. We're applying every single shot. We're pretty much guaranteed to. The spread for this, the viral, we only have a 37.9% chance of the viral hitting before multi-shot, before the ricochet effect of the weapon. So very good spread with this low number. That's a lot of people think like, oh, let me go Toxin Progenitor and just stack as much viral as possible. You don't know what you're doing. Your weapon's going to suck. It's embarrassing. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're disgusting. Just use anything else for the viral. So critical deceleration, we are taking a big hit on the fire rate. This weapon has bad fire rate. I'm compensating for it with the Riven. You may need arcane tempo on your Warframe or maybe a Warframe ability to upkeep for that, but it is what it is. And then these two are, this is for the viral, this is for the shock. Again, you're probably wondering, why not use Blaze or Heat for it? So Heat takes a full second before it'll proc. Same as Slash. Now, the reason I'm not using that is because, again, every enemy has a shielded unit or a robotic unit, and additionally, a secret of electricity that is well kept amongst the god tier Warframe players is that electricity can cause headshots. So if you're using this on Elvira, which is my main use for it, your electricity can get the headshot bonus. So if you have some way to deal with the long reload of this weapon, or you don't find the reload that bad, I would highly suggest you do primary deadhead. This weapon is just like the Nadaruk in that it does not have an innate headshot multiplier, but it can receive headshot multipliers, and thus your electricity is much the same way where it can receive a headshot multiplier. So that is the long and short of the build. Now, again, a lot of people complain, oh, you're using arcanes. Yeah. I'm using every tool in the toolbox. I'm not just using the same hammer for everything. So you got to get it cranking. Again, this is for end game level type scenarios. So your first couple shots aren't going to do much damage, but that's what fodder enemies are for, right? So we're just going to fire one shot, and look, we got so many procs. Again, there is also impact. This weapon, I believe it force procs impact. Which it's a shame that there's no slash mod for this weapon, but we're just going to kill these guys so we can get our merciless going a little bit. So we got a couple stacks. I'm going to reload. We're going to lose a few from the reload time, but so lots of procky dockies. And the electricity is also providing CC on whatever does not die is getting CC'd for the slash to basically kill it. And then this is, I don't have any Warframe arcanes buffing this, by the way. This is purely the weapon. So a lot of times, I pretty much never just fire one shot at an enemy anyway. I usually fire two because they're in groups, and I want to make sure they're dead. I hate having to wait for the slash to kill them, because a lot of times I find that that's when I'm vulnerable on some of the frames that I play, is in that 1 second where they're free. But, oh my god, a benefit of this build is that if you don't kill them, they're static shocking. They're doing a little jig, they're doing a little dance, everything is very easy to kill, and they're also shocking their friends. So you're not suffering that huge impact of it did initially kill them. And additionally, you're hurting, like say you missed an enemy that's near them for whatever reason. I don't know how you miss with a weapon like this, but it happens. So like, watch, I'm going to miss this guy, I'm going to hit everything else. And one of these guys should be shocking him. See, he's getting some shocky doggies there. In practice, it's, in an actual match, it's a lot easier to see. So that's the long and short of it. You can see very clearly that this is handling these enemies very well. Now, I had someone complain that, oh, you're doing it in a test arena. Yeah, I don't care what you're saying. The metric for testing stuff is corrupted heavy gunners. If you don't think that that's a reliable metric that literally every single YouTuber of Warframe uses, then you haven't been playing this game for long, and I'm ashamed to be on the same planet as you. So this is a very reliable gun. My favorite part about this gun is that it's my jack of all trades. I can use this one hammer on everything because we've got like 7 hammers taped together with the different statuses we're applying. It's good against Corpus, it's good against Sentient, it's good against literally everything. Now the coup de grace with this is that I mainly use it on Avara. She's one of my main frames. Let me make sure I got the right build on this. I do. Oh, I do not. So again, I use silent battery instead of the galvanized acceleration, which just increases the range. Well, I say just, that's very important. But so the headshot bonus does apply to it. So we're gonna do some shootily doots. Again, the first couple enemies, like usually you're gonna be killing some fodder, so it's extremely easy to get your stacks up. But again, it is, you know, you gotta crank it up, right? It has a higher damage potential, but a lower damage floor, and the damage potential is very easy to get to. So that he's gonna die there. So it's great because a lot of times your weight... Now, this is like fully cranked, by the way. I'm using Arcane Avenger. It's proccing on every single kill because I'm using Combat Discipline. So this is like my typical build with her, and it's fully cranking. I'll probably do a build on her. I don't know. I like keeping it kind of a secret, but I'm pretty much giving it away here. But pretty much everything will be one shot. And again, I don't generally just shoot one bullet at an enemy and then move on to the next. Even if I'm using the Ogress, even if I'm using... whatever the Brahma, its name escapes me. I haven't used it in a while because it's trash now, allegedly. I think it's still great actually, but it's neither here nor there. But I pretty much don't ever just one-shot stuff. I pretty much shoot everything twice because again, you're looking at long hallways, long engagements, and you're shooting. Now you could try using heat on this. I really don't think heat does as well, especially when paired with Ivara, because Ivara, as we learned from my last video, Prowl has an innate damage multi-shire headshot, which applies to the electric status. Yes, it applies to the electric status. So we're gonna group these guys up again. I'm invisible again. Because I clicked on the menu, I don't have my stacks built up. So we're gonna kill some of them so we can get our stacks built up. We have 6 stacks, and now everything's gonna die in a shot. Everything's gonna die in a shot now. We're not even at full. Well, now we're at full stacks. So with a proper build, I know there's gonna be some copium huffers in the comments that are like, "Oh, well, you're using all these different things." Yeah. Why would I not be using all of the tools that the game gave me? That doesn't make any sense at all, and I'm sick of people acting like, oh, this weapon's MR fodder because you have to use all these different tools to get it fully cracking. Yeah, I do. You clearly have never worked in a body shop or mechanic shop because they have a fucking million tools that all do the same thing, but just very, very slightly different. And when you're in one of these shops, you're itching for the chance. You're like, yes, I finally get to use it. I finally get to use this tool. So this, again, the primary function of this, it's very convenient. Gone are the days of having to equip Banes. Gone are the days of, you're like, oh, fuck, it didn't kill him on the initial shot. Now he's going to kill me because I'm a squishy frame. Those days are gone because whatever doesn't kill them will shock them and they'll be doing a little dancey dance for you. I will, at some point, be showing a Steel Path gameplay video for this weapon because I'll be doing a showcase on this Ivara build, but what I want to do is cover each of the weapons before I go into the build. That way I can keep my videos down to maybe 10-15 minutes. I'm so sick of YouTube just having 40-minute Warframe videos where half the video is them not talking and it's adding literally nothing to the discussion. I'm learning nothing. I'm not feeling anything. It's not funny. It's not entertaining, kind of like this video. So I do want to have some sort of brevity to my videos. That being said, I don't know when I will do that, but at some point you will be seeing an Ivara complete build instead of just an augment cover. So look forward to that, or don't. I don't really give a shit. I'm doing these videos for myself. Hopefully you can tell that these are for me and not for you. Hence, I'm not begging for your likes and comments and subscriptions. So, if you felt like you've learned something from this groundbreaking, original, one-of-a-kind, Tenet, Explent-Scientifical, Big Cock Damage, Arca Plasmor guide, then the only way you can let me know that you learned something from this is to go and play with your cat, your dog, or your goldfish, or whatever it is. Just go play with your animals for a little bit. And that's really, sincerely, genuinely the only way you can let me know that you learned something, felt an emotion, got mad. That's the only way I'll be able to tell. So, yeah, get on that post haste. Bye.